Hello, friends. Welcome back to our channel, where we explore inspiring stories from the Bible and uncover lessons we can apply to our daily lives. Today, we're diving into a powerful story about courage, justice, and faith. The daughters of Zelophehad and the claim of their inheritance. This story is taken from the book of Numbers 27, from verses 1 to 11. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Now sit back, relax, and let's dive into this remarkable story. In ancient Israel, land inheritance was incredibly important. It wasn't just about wealth, it was about identity, security, and a family's legacy. Typically, inheritance was passed down from fathers to their sons. But what happened if a man had no sons? This brings us to the story of Zelophehad, a man from the tribe of Manasseh. Zelophehad had 5 daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These young women were not only bold, but also wise and faithful. Their father had died in the wilderness during Israel's journey to the Promised Land, and he had no sons to inherit his portion of land. In those days, without male heirs, a family's inheritance could easily be lost or transferred to other relatives, leaving the daughters with nothing. But Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah weren't about to let their family's name and legacy disappear. The 5 sisters courageously approached Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders, and the entire assembly at the entrance of the tent of meeting. They said, "Why should our father's name disappear from his clan because he had no son? Give us property among our father's relatives." Their request was bold, groundbreaking, and in many ways against the norms of their time. But they spoke with respect, wisdom, and faith in God's justice. Moses, realizing the weight of their request, brought the matter before God. And God responded with a clear answer. "The daughters of Zelophehad are right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives and give their father's inheritance to them." Numbers 27:7. This moment marked a significant shift in Israelite inheritance laws. God not only granted the daughters their father's inheritance, but also established a new law. If a man dies without sons, his inheritance will pass to his daughters. The courage of Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah ensured not only their own family's legacy, but also justice for future generations of women in Israel. The question is, why did the daughters of Zelophehad want the inheritance? The daughters of Zelophehad didn't approach Moses out of greed or personal ambition. Their request stemmed from a deep sense of responsibility, fairness, and a desire to honor their father's legacy. Number 1, preserving their father's name. In ancient Israel, inheritance wasn't just about land. It was about preserving a family's name and legacy. Without an inheritance, Zelophehad's name would have been forgotten among his people. The daughters wanted to ensure their father's legacy endured. Number 2, economic security. In a patriarchal society, land ownership was vital for survival. Without land, the daughters would have been vulnerable to poverty and exploitation. By claiming their inheritance, they secured a future for themselves and their families. Number 3, faith in God's justice. The daughters believed in the fairness of God's law. They understood that God is a God of justice, and they approached Moses with faith that he would do what was right. Number 4, breaking cultural barriers. The societal norms of their time didn't favor women in matters of inheritance. Yet the daughters didn't let fear or cultural expectations hold them back. They believed their request was righteous and boldly stepped forward. Number 6. Setting a precedent. Whether they realized it or not, the daughters' actions set a powerful precedent. Their courage opened the door for other women in similar situations to claim their rightful inheritance. Their story isn't just about land. It's about justice, faith, and the willingness to stand up for what's right, even in the face of cultural and societal barriers. Lessons to learn from the daughters of Zelophehad. Number 1, the courage to speak up. Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah didn't remain silent in the face of injustice. They spoke up respectfully and courageously. We too must learn to speak up when we see injustice or unfairness, even when it feels uncomfortable. Number 2, faith in God's justice. The daughters believe that God is just and fair. Their faith guided their boldness. We must trust that God is the ultimate judge and will always do what is right. Number 2, persistence in the face of barriers. The cultural norms of their time were stacked against them, yet they didn't let that stop them. Sometimes doing the right thing means challenging established norms. Number 3, advocacy for future generations. Their actions didn't just benefit them, they paved the way for future generations of women to receive fair treatment. Our actions today can create lasting change for others. Number 4, respectful approach. The daughters approached Moses and the assembly with humility, respect, and clarity. They presented their case logically and respectfully, setting an example for how we should address issues of justice. Number 5, God hears and responds. When Moses brought their request to God, God responded. This reminds us that our prayers and concerns are heard by God, and He will provide guidance and answers. In conclusion, the story of the daughters of Zelophehad is about more than inheritance. It's a story of courage, faith, and the pursuit of justice. These 5 sisters didn't let fear, cultural norms, or societal expectations silence them. They stepped forward with boldness and faith, and God honored their request. Their story teaches us that God values every individual, regardless of gender, status, or position in society. It also reminds us that when we act courageously and faithfully, we can create lasting change, not just for ourselves, but for those who come after us. So, whether you're facing a situation where you need to speak up, advocate for fairness, or trust God with a difficult problem, remember the example set by Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. When was the last time you had to stand up for something you believed was right, even if it felt difficult or intimidating? Share your experience in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible Bible stories. See you in the next video.